Welcome to this tutorial on building your first report using Query2Report application. The use case that we are targeting is to display server performance in terms of CPU, memory, and swap utilization. We will have two charts in this report. The first chart displays the CPU utilization, and the second chart displays swap and memory utilization. Click on New Report, provide the report title, and a description. I'm going to use the same title and description for now. Now, let's add a row to this report so that we have two rows. The top row displays the CPU utilization and the bottom row displays swap and memory utilization. So let's edit the first element, provide the title, which is CPU utilization. The data for CPU utilization comes from a table called sysperf. So I'm going to select the timestamp column, which is TS, hostname column, and CPU column from sysperf. And I'm going to select line chart. Let me refresh the query and see if there is data. Now, if you notice that there are two hosts, host 1 and host 2, let's say we want to display it against one host. So I'm going to add a constraint saying host name equal to my host 1 dot my domain, and I'm going to refresh it again. Now, what if I want to parameterize this host so that the host name is asked when the report is refreshed rather than hard coding in the query? So this is possible by using substitution variable. So I'm going to indicate that the report is going to use a substitution variable by mentioning it within the flower bracket. And I'm going to say that the variable is of type string and the name of the variable is hostname. I'll further constrain and put a timestamp greater than or equal to start date and timestamp less than or equal to end date. So for date, there is a data type called date. And if you want to include time of the day also, then we have to change this to date time. So let's save this element. Let's go and edit the second element and mention that this belongs to CPU and swap and memory utilization. The query is same, just the columns are different. So same timestamp TS column, host name, mem, which represents memory utilization, swap, which represents swap utilization from sysperf, and I'm going to add the same host name, start time and end time constraint. So string host name and TS equal to date of start date and TS less than or equal to date of end date. We'll put an order by TS. And in this case, I'm going to use a area chart so that we display one below the other swap and memory utilization. So I'll say, I'll just make an edit and put an order by here as well. Now let's go ahead and save this report in public folder. Once the report is saved, let's verify the report by clicking on the report title. So if you notice, we get a prompt which allows us to enter the value for host name, start date, and end date. So I'm going to pick myhost2.mydomain.com and start of this month till current time as the date range. So I'm going to apply parameters. So you would see a chart getting rendered. Now let's say I want to zoom in on one of these peak or view the data differently. So I'm going to click on this chart element icon here and select annotated chart. Here I would be able to zoom in on a particular time range. and look at the values in more detailed format. I can always refresh and go back to the original representation. There are so many chart types, so I can select an area chart, which would be similar to a line chart in this case, or let's say a scatter chart to see how the distribution of the utilization values are. Same way we can convert the bottom chart also to a stepped area chart and so on. So all these changes to chart type are transient in nature. They get overwritten with the original default saved values once we refresh. If you want to change the chart type permanently, you have to go and edit the report and change the chart type from, let's say, line chart to scatter chart. Save the report again, save it in public folder, overwriting the previous copy, and let's provide the value again. And again, let's select the same time range. So notice that the chart has permanently changed to a scatter chart when the report is refreshed. Thank you for watching.